Hey y'all, I'm Courtney.
And I'm Sarah.
And this is Bodice Siblings,
the podcast where we read all the books we used to steal off our grandmother's nightstands.
And then we drink about it. On this episode, we read His for Hanukkah by Reese Morrison. There are no real trigger warnings for this book. Just be aware that our main character has severe anxiety, and although it's not stated, they are neurodivergent. It's handled very well, very, sensitively, but if you're in an anxious place, maybe this isn't the book for you. But yeah, no real trigger warnings with this one.
Well, because as usual, Shalom, we are doing our December tradition of reading a modern gay Hanukkah novella, and we have chosen this one, which was a lot of fun.
Yes, so happy Hanukkah. No, Hanukkah has passed. It was early this year.
Yeah, it was.
But Hanukkah lives on in our horny hearts.
Yes, so as always, I light a candle all the time for hot dudes.
Yeah. So this book, again, is written by Reese Morrison. This is the number one in the Tradition series. Reese has a number of books. Reese Morrison lives in Philly with their partner, 2 precocious children, housemates, guests, homeless, queer teens. Their hobbies are volunteering on too many boards, planting gardens they forget to water halfway through the summer, making up songs for their kids, and putting off writing their dissertation. Reese and their partner both identify as genderqueer and are part of a vibrant community of queer and trans folks. They started writing because they were dissatisfied with the lack of trans and genderqueer characters in what they were reading and finally decided to do something about it. Many but not all of their books are kinky, for a whole range of kinks, and they feel it is important to represent a range of backgrounds, disabilities, gender presentations, identities, and body types in their writing. So if that's what you're looking for, enjoy. And you can find their books wherever you buy books.
It's funny. This is the second kinky book with a trans main character I've read this month. Which,
I love it.
I mean, that's like super specific, right? But if you like this, you should also read For the Love of April French, which I read because it was on the Fated Mates Best of the Year list, and it was so freaking good. Super fluffy, super kinky, really, really good. So I'm going to read the back cover copy. Well, first I'll tell you what the cover looks like. It's one of those modern covers, so it's not... it does have a guy's face and not his torso, so like that's kind of a plus. It's obviously like Adam, who is like the twink.
Yes.
The nervous twink looking for a daddy. And it's got... The cute thing is that the I for his is dotted with a Star of David, which is kind of cute. So here's the cover copy. Most people like vacations and Christmas. They both make Adam want to scream and kick things. Anxious, lonely, Jewish, and in serious need of a daddy, Adam finally loses it in the lobby of his favorite BDSM club, right in front of the guy he's been crashing on. Tate's been dreaming about Adam for a long time. Trying to pick him up for a scene seemed to scare him away, and he worries that Adam wasn't as accepting of his transgender status as he'd hope. But when the sobbing boy seeks comfort in his arms, he hopes this can be another chance. When Tate learns how invisible Adam feels being Jewish during the holiday season, he sets out to win his boy over by making him his for Hanukkah. He plans to spoil him with 8 nights of affection, laughter, and submission, showing Adam that he can be the daddy that he deserves. But will it be enough for Tate to keep him after the holiday is over? The Tradition series follows the Jewish calendar in making old traditions new and bringing romance to life. The series features many transgender, genderqueer, and gender-bending characters, as well as BDSM elements. As a series is united by a theme rather than characters, the books may be read in any order. Which is good, because we just read this one.
Yes.
So we got some cute wine for this.
We do.
What is the name of that? I only looked at the picture.
It's called the Velvet Hammer.
Oh, God, is it?
Yes, the Velvet Hammer.
I just got it for the label, which is this hammer that's all tied up in red ribbons.
It's a Cabernet Sauvignon. Yes, it's a very beautiful label. I'll have to find it and put it on our social media. It's made by Arch Rival.
Oh,
I love that. I love that for a...
Yeah, it's all so thematic.
I love this. So, yeah, before we get started, we would like to thank our Patreon pledge, Ashley. Thank you so much for your Patreon pledge. And again, if you guys, want to throw a couple bucks our way, you don't have to subscribe. You can give us a pledge at patreon.com/bodicesiblings. Anyway, back to His for Hanukkah.
So this book, like all of our Hanukkah novellas, is quite short. Obviously it's 8 nights. Adam is a computer, like a software programmer, I think, and he's been forced to take vacation because he's about to lose his leave, and he is really, really, really anxious about that. Like, he doesn't know what to do with his time, and he keeps seeing all this Christmas shit, and the Christmas shit is making him increasingly stabby. And he just blows up. Like, he walks into, his kink bar and they're putting up a goddamn Christmas tree and he just fucking loses it.
Yeah. I think, for Adam, his neurodivergency, he needs to have his day kind of segmented out, and he needs to have kind of, for him, it's timelines and it's knowing what is going to happen, when it's going to happen. So for him, vacation is just this kind of like where it's like, hey, you get to sit around and do nothing all day. For him, it is very, very stress inducing. And so that on top of Christmas trees and people bumping into him and constant just, being inundated with Christmas stuff, he just finally blows a gasket and starts like kicking the shit out of like presents and it's kind of an episode.
Well, and Tate, so Tate is the one who's putting up the goddamn Christmas tree. Tate clues into it immediately and does this like really cool kind thing where he just like kick the shit out of this box, dude. And there's like wrapped a fake present that you put under like the Christmas tree at like some business, and Adam just destroys it and Hulk out, dude, beat it, and he gets to like beat the crap out of
like
a bunch of
rage
presents.
room a little bit, like one of those rooms where you can go and just break things,
And they knew each other. So before Tate had transitioned, they were in the same social group. And then when he did transition, his girlfriend like couldn't handle it and was kind of an asshole about it, evidently. But Tate thinks that he lost all of his friends. Like that she kept all the friends, but actually it's not true at all. And that, Adam has always been hot for Tate.
Yes. And it's Adam is, you don't know how long he got out of his relationship, but he was in a fairly toxic relationship with someone who thought that he was just too needy and couldn't do all the things that he wanted done for him. So yeah, especially once Tate transitioned, Adam was like, hello. And Adam, again, because he is kind of anxious and all this stuff, whenever someone who is super hot talks to him, he sort of freezes up. So the times that Tate has kind of propositioned him to do a scene at the club, Adam just sort of is like, eh.
And later, he asked him, well, how was you wanted to do this? How was I supposed to know that? And he's like, you were just supposed to grab me by the fucking dick, dude.
Yeah, Adam has some friends that kind of set up scenes for him because he gets so anxious. And, Tate, at first, when he hears this, is kind of like, oh,
that doesn't seem, super safe. But, the friends, a lot of people are looking out for Adam, which is really nice to see.
Yeah. It's a very, take care of each other community.
So he, after all, the very healthy, beating the shit out of fake Christmas presents thing, he just collapses in this, just sobbing.
Aftercare, yeah. He goes into subspace just from, it's kind of a cool thing in that, afterwards, as he's kind of coming down from it, he's talking to Tate. And
Tate's using Tate's Dom voice.
Yeah, and Tate knows, Tate's he's like, it's not a traditional scene, but it was a scene. You went into subspace, and that's how they get in this conversation. So
what they agree is that Tate is going to be Adam's. Well, he doesn't want to say daddy because Adam is afraid of that he doesn't want to put too much on Tate too quick. So, but he's going to be his for Hanukkah. So he gets 8 nights, and Adam is Jewish and Tate is not. But Tate is really excited about learning more about Judaism, which is a really sweet thing about this. Mm-hmm. And because he gets a chance to explain, he's like, look, it's just everywhere, and honestly, Hanukkah's not even that important to to observant Jews. And
there's a lot of really good history in it, too, talking about, kind of how Hanukkah was really kind of the political bent that Hanukkah has taken, and that, at first it was kind of this thing about warfare, and then it turned into this other thing. The history of it's really interesting, and I liked that the author put that in there.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Tate's kind of mentally taking notes, oh, I should bring you apples and honey for Rosh Hashanah. It's very much about people listening to each other. It's like emotional fantasy. That's somebody's paying that much attention to your needs and even the needs that you don't voice. So they go home to Tate's place, and it's hot. Okay, for it is a steamy read. like the first night he's like, no, we're just gonna sleep together. We're not gonna, it's very.
They order food, and yeah, there's a lot of food.
Yeah, there's food. Oh my God, there's so much food in this. There is an uncomfortable amount of cooking while also being fuck adjacent.
Yes, it was for me. I'm not going to say what I am going to say. We'll address it later in the questions. For me, I'm like, whenever somebody's like messing with you and you're like trying to cook, like my husband will come up and hug me from behind and I'm like, get the fuck off, you know?
I'm just thinking about all that splattery latke oil. Like, dude, you want to be protected from that. But hey, it's their thing and they're doing it. So, yeah, like it's of course it's about the sex that they have, and like they get into like orgasm control and that sort of thing. But it's really more about like Tate's like 1,000% listening and taking care of Adam. And of course, Adam wants to call him daddy, but he doesn't quite dare. He's afraid of scaring him off.
The intimacy, and it's like. Tate is pretty much the dream man. Like, the next day he shows up with this special type of bread and, all the, like, he does a lot of research and is just kind of this perfect partner. And yeah, the sex is really hot, but it's also, more than that, like Sarah said. And so they kind of go through each night, they have something, like Sarah said, the first night, they just kind of sleep together because, again, they're coming down from the serotonin of that one scene that they had. Tate is very thorough and, like, taking care of Adam. This is exactly what Adam has wanted, someone to take care of him like this. And, Tate still has to go to work, so you have Adam alone in the house for a little bit getting anxious, and Tate learning about Adam, that you have to give him directives and you have to, like, give him timelines and things like that.
And so... And it's so sweet. It's just so fluffy. But then, like, there does come to a point where Tate is like, okay, I don't know. I don't really want to say the word Christmas, but I have this terrible family. Would you like to come meet my terrible family with me? Partly he kind of wants to bring somebody to Christmas because his parents, when he transitioned, were all like, well, nobody will love you now,
And they don't even accept it. They still call him by his, former name, his pre-transition name. And they're just, you can tell they're obviously like, Trumpers.
They're the worst. And also his sister has married a man named Min, who is from China. And yeah, the whole thing is just awful. So like, really, he wants to be there for his sister. And usually his sister just ducks out real quick. But he asked Adam, he's like, you don't have to come. By all means, you don't have to come. However, it would really mean a lot to me to have somebody there in my corner. And so he does come. And
he's ace. Like, he's amazing because he goes out. He actually goes, like, helps Tate Christmas shop for, his Tate's sister and her husband have 2 small children. And, he goes and picks out, gender neutral toys and, that are like lab chemistry set, like cool, kind of educational things. And he, like, is fully into it.
Yeah, and the kids, like, at the actual dinner, the kids love playing with him. I couldn't help but think, like, you have, like, a giant silver cage on your penis.
Oh,
so
yes.
Maybe don't let small children climb on your lap.
He's got to wear a cock cage. Why am I whispering it? He's got to wear a cock cage for, like, 3 days. And then he's got kids just sitting in his lap. And I guess maybe it's to let us know that these things are, like, unobtrusive. But I was like, whoa, why you go?
If it were me, I'd be so worried that somebody could feel like the
time. Yeah. I mean, I would be like, think about like how you worry about like camel toe and jeans.
Yes.
Like, I mean, I know it's a different problem for guys, but I'd be like, can you see it? Can you see like the wire?
Is it clanking? Should I go near the microwave?
I mean, it's probably like I think Sarah and I are both like envisioning like an Iron Maiden.
Yeah,
situation.
It's probably not as large as I'm picturing it because of course it's large in your brain because it's figures so highly in their in their play together. So in my mind, Tate is like 8 feet tall.
Oh yeah, and, like,
which is unlikely, but like
so they go to this hell Christmas dinner. They all decide to leave early, and then Adam brings up this really Adam's super sweet. He's like, "What do you really want to see your sister, right?" And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, then just invite them back to your place, and we'll order food and just like have a nice time." And that's what they do, and they both kind of realize how seamlessly they fit into each other's lives.
Yeah, Tate really wants to take care of him. He wants to be a daddy, and Adam wants a daddy, and it's...
You got that miscommunication where neither one wants to scare the other off. And
yeah, that's their black moment, is when Adam is sure that when their agreement was for Hanukkah, that when Hanukkah's over, it's over.
Yeah.
And he's just like, but he won't say it because he's afraid of, like, you know, being too clingy and everything.
And there's like an evening where Tate is running late and Adam had been making dinner and just, you know, it was one of those where like one thing fell apart, so he was convinced that everything was going to fall apart. You know, he's like, I can't have, it was, you know, like spaghetti. And he was like, the cold noodles, just the idea of cold noodles or noodles just sitting in a pot. Like and then he like has a complete like meltdown where he's throwing sauce on the ground. And like, I was like, whoa. But, you know, he and Tate kind of worked through it. And Tate on the last night of Hanukkah had gotten him a little collar, you know, a little bejeweled collar. And it ends very fluffy and happy.
It's very sweet. It's very sweet.
So, again, super short, but...
Yeah, and it was just cuddly, you know?
Very cuddly.
Read. Question time. Big dick energy or big dick energy? Tate has the biggest fucking dick of like any book that we have read.
Yeah, Tate's amazing. I mean, he's got all this emotional intelligence, and he is just willing to kind of bend over backwards for Adam. You know, he realizes, like, one of the things that Adam likes is to dress up and kind of, you know, be, you know, he likes, you know, makeup and shiny things and, you know, just being himself, which his ex-boyfriend did not like. And so one of the first nights, Tate comes back with like, you know, he has some makeup for him and a like shiny fun top, and you know, he really sees Adam, and it's super hot.
It's just two people just absolutely trying to make each other happy.
Yes,
it's just really nice. Would you talk shit with or about the heroine, which would be, you know, the hero here, Adam? His anxiety was a little bit too real for me.
Yeah. There are...
It was kind of putting me on edge.
I think, like, the anxiety, again, kind of combined with his neurodivergency it's very realistic. You know, like, the meltdowns that he has are very real, and they feel real, and you can feel his anxiety. You do want to be like, dude, like, you know, go talk to somebody, you know, because, like, I can see this being a problem for, like, Tate in the long run, is having to, like, do all the emotional labor for you.
Yeah, like, he really needs, like, intensive, like, good therapy.
Yeah, but...
Which, of course, I mean, like, you know, this is 8 nights of his life, but, yeah. I mean, you know, it was... he was like so skinless that I was just like worried about him long term. You know?
But I do think like one of the things that's great about it is like, you know, we're seeing him at kind of like a crisis level, and like we don't really like, what is he like when he's evened out and he has what he needs? You know what I mean? Like, so I think it's handled really well. He is like, he's kind of like, again, all of his facts and stuff, and like the stuff that he like, you know, presents to you about Hanukkah and stuff. He's super fun, and you kind of get glimpses into this more fun personality that he has, that you kind of think like, okay, you know, he's probably more like this throughout.
Yes. I mean, the holidays are very stressful for lots and lots of people.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Who among us has never had a Christmas wine cry?
Oh, my God, all the time. You know, every Christmas, there's one coming. Like, I can feel it right now. No, but, yeah, so I think I really enjoyed him. I think he's very much, even though I think what I liked about this book and, like, him is that obviously, yes, it's about Hanukkah. You know, all of his anxiety, his holiday anxiety can be, anybody can relate to it, because we all feel like, even during Christmas and stuff, you know, it's a different type of invisibility, but we all can admit to feeling that sometimes, you know. So I thought he was great.
Yeah, honestly, the people in this they're just lovely. Which I guess flows into Bechtel to Bitch, which in this context, I think we can talk about just their community. Like, they have a great kink community, and people are like just looking after each other. It's very positive.
Well, what I really enjoyed too, and I mean, this is me, you know, I guess like my own ignorance. What I really enjoyed about it was like I've tried to read I think last year I tried to read one, and like it was a kinky Hanukkah book, and I felt like that one, it was, you know, for the people, it was awesome, but I felt like there was so much just like, we have to have all the representation, which is great, but I felt like it was just ticking boxes rather than like getting into it. Like the things that were super hot in this one is, so there's a scene where Adam is going to give Tate a blowjob, and like we get into the semantics of how that works. And it like, but not
And not in a
so.
salacious. I mean, well, it's salacious in the sense that it's supposed to be sexy.
And it was
Yeah,
also like
sexy,
kind of informative because like I was like, I didn't even think about this. I didn't even, because it's not something that's in my wheelhouse, like, or on my radar, I guess. But I really enjoyed that part of it, that the author was able to kind of weave in these practicalities that, as a cis-het woman, don't cross my mind, and keep it in a way that's sexy. Like, and again, like the one that I had tried to read, I felt like it was just more instruction manual. Like, so it was cool because you got all this, it was great representation, but it was still in the moment, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it didn't feel like it stopped. It stopped the fun to explain and
yeah.
And if you would probably also enjoy For the Love of April French because it is hot in the same way.
Yeah.
Also, Tate's family, his parents are shitty, but his sister and her sister's husband were very supportive and the community of everybody except for Tate's parents is great in this book and like super supportive. When it comes to consent, is this book more Robin Thicke or Marvin Gaye? Like most books, with the real kink community, not like those Gorian people. It's all about consent, of course.
Oh yeah, and they do. They say numerous times, safe, sane, consensual, safe, sane, consensual. So it was really, really good, and I think it's a good. Again, for those who are maybe about the kink community, it's a great kind of. It's a soft kink book, the things that are in it aren't so wow, what's happening? It's a good kind of starter book, I guess, for it.
I would also recommend Alexis Hall's For Real for a really hot kink book that I have read. How badly are you judging your mom off reading this book? If my mama read this book, I would be so excited, but my brain would explode. So.
Oh my God. No, I would have, that would have been hilarious.
I mean, amazing.
I know. Yeah. I don't know. She might have. She was pretty.
I don't know if my grandma would have had. I don't even think she would have gotten to the whole part about the queer community or anything. I think she would have hung up on the Jews.
My grandmother would have been very upset about the destruction of the Christmas tree. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Hold on. Quick aside. So my grandmother was obsessed with ugly Christmas trees. So, she was big into having cypress trees, because that's what she had in Tennessee. And I think that this old 80-something-year-old woman would go and just steal a tree, because where do you find a cypress Christmas tree? You don't. But she would find them. And one year we came in and she had,
You mean cut down in somebody's yard, right? When you say steal?
Yeah. So because again, how do you find a cypress tree anyway, so she had the old lady typical house, where you walk in and there's the fancy room where all her good furniture was and all that stuff. And that's where she put the Christmas tree. The Christmas tree was always decidedly the most unfancy thing, because one year she had it, I'm not even lying, y'all, bungee corded to the wall. And my mom and I walk in and she knows her and my mom were and she looked at my mom and she's like, "What do you think of my tree?" And my mom was like, "It's great." She had the ugliest Christmas trees. They were just all bushy and, so I think she would have been, when the Christmas tree got destroyed, she would have been but
when my mom was a kid, somebody did steal. It was a spruce, cut it down out of their yard at Christmas.
Yeah.
Under cover of night.
Not a cypress. It might have been spruce. I think it was a spruce. I don't know. It was one of those. It's bushier.
Okay, then I think maybe it's anyway.
It doesn't matter. It's the one with the little blue. What are the ones with the blue?
Oh, those are spruce. Yeah,
yeah, but they're ugly as shit.
So did she steal my goddamn mama's Christmas tree?
She could have been.
She drive to Pittsburgh.
She could have been, but they're the ugliest fucking Christmas trees. But again, she grew up in the mountains of Tennessee. That's what they would have, are those blue spruce Christmas trees. And
my mom always she'd say, "Why can't we get a spruce?" And maybe it's more of a, the farther up north you go.
An old lady thing. I don't know.
I was going to say my mom's not old, but then wait, she just turned 80.
I didn't mean your mom. Oh, yeah.
Well, no, she is now. I mean, sorry, Mom, if you're listening. You're not listening.
No. Well, happy birthday. All right, so would Scarlett Johansson have been in the movie?
Hell no. It's about real trans people.
I know. I really enjoyed... I don't know. I think, yeah, again, I think our author obviously is writing from it. Like, it's a very own voice book, and it comes from a place that is knowledgeable, but it's also coming from a place that's like, I'm not making this all. These people are more than just their identity. And I guess that's what I was saying about that book earlier is like, I felt like everything was so wrapped up in their identity. But these characters are characters who are, you know, one happens to be a submissive gay man. One happens to be a dominant trans man. You know, like...
It's all just facets of their personality, not like their...
The whole thing. Yeah. And I loved that about it.
Yeah. I mean, I like this book a lot. I did. You're not leaving the house looking like that.
Adam had some
outfits.
He had like this, like, you could tell it was like a club top.
Yeah, sparkly and silver and
yeah, like a little slinky club top, and I think he had on like some fun black pants.
And his cat eye game is on point.
Yes, his makeup was great.
Do we still we don't say on fleek anymore, do we?
I don't think so.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. You can say. You know what? We're old. We can say whatever.
That's true. I learned about Shugi from the Washington Post. I'm with it and hip. As in breaka.
There's now dad jeans that kids are wearing.
Like the Obama jeans? Are they wearing those on purpose?
But it's girls want dad jeans.
I don't even know what that is now.
I don't know. I was like...
I mean, I know what I think it is, but I don't know if that's what they were talking about.
Ripped dad jeans. That's the new thing. I was like, this is...
They don't know what we had to do to get away from those goddamn 80s jeans.
I know.
The sacrifices that we made.
I was like, y'all, they're just going to give you, like, long ass for the new generation. Fucking long, like that long
or like when you sit down and you have the polter wang.
Oh, God.
It's going to give you polter wang.
The worst.
Oh, God. Well, that's why they do it, though, because we make that face.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
That's the point, is the face. Would your 12-year-old self have dog-eared any of the pages? It was sex all the way through.
Absolutely.
We didn't mention the number one garment in it, which is the cock cage.
The cock cage. Yeah, so, okay, and I think we were waiting for this. So, like, some of the sex was super hot. Some of the sex, again, I was like, no. Like...
Put down the knife and the cheese grater.
Yeah, like there is a part where Adam is grating potatoes, you know, to make latkes, and Tate comes up behind him and is all like playing with his nipples.
Yeah,
and I was like, no, dude. No, this isn't. No, I can't.
I could just feel like that starchy potato on my fingers, and just like I would elbow my husband in the face so hard.
Sometimes I'll be cooking, or even like at the sink or something. Christopher will come up and just hug me, and I'm like, get off me! Yeah. Like it makes me so uncomfortable. But like, there was a lot of like weird food sex that wasn't sexy to me. Like that is the one.
That's just personal taste.
Yeah, the whole like their regular like. There's
sex everywhere but in the kitchen.
Oh my God, yeah. Like
it's super hot.
And even their table sex was good. They did have some good
sex.
But like, yeah, I was like, the kitchen, like you guys are making stuff. Like, stop.
You got oil in the pan frying stuff. You want to keep your bajingles out of that.
Exactly. And yes, so there is a part where, like Sarah said, and
Bajingle all the way, I guess.
Bajingle all the way is the name of the episode. Mm-hmm. There is a part, like Sarah said, where I think it's on like day 3. Tate puts a cock cage on Adam and is like, you can't do anything until like day 6. And I was like, damn, dude, like you only got 8. Like, what are you doing?
Right.
Like, but yeah, so he's like just walking around with this thing. And again, I guess because I'm just not well versed on them enough, like there is a part where they go to Christmas and there's kids sitting on Adam's lap.
Yeah, and I'm like,
wouldn't that just like...
I would just be so self-conscious.
But I don't know how a dick really works, so like...
I don't either. Yeah, they just seem inconvenient to me.
Like, I guess like a kid can sit on your lap and not just be...
I don't know. I've never understood how men ride horses anyway, so...
I don't understand it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But other than that, like, it is hot. And again, that blowjob scene was like hot as shit.
Oh, yeah.
And what was really great about it, too, is like, obviously we've talked a lot about Adam's kind of emotional baggage. Tate, you know, he's bringing his own baggage in. Mm-hmm. And he's, you know, like there is a part like where they're messing around and he's, you know, wondering like how Adam is going to react to his body. And it was very real and, you know, vulnerable and in the moment. And Adam loves his body. And it It was awesome.
Yeah, and like Tate like tenses up really hard once when afterwards Adam's like, oh, trans guys are the best, and Tate is like, because he doesn't say this, but I'm like, oh god, is he like all of a sudden I'm realizing he's like a chaser, but what Adam is like, I'm such a science queen, so I appreciate that you can just put the biggest thing in my ass that you can possibly find.
And they talk about like they kind of go into the like again, it's done in a sexy, doesn't take you out of the way moment of the mechanics of how how there is penetrative sex like happening, and it's awesome. Like,
yeah, no, I mean, this book is great.
Again, like Adam's like, you can put like we can buy any size dildo.
Like after a while, you probably don't want to put it in your pants anymore because your pants budget would go like way up. But And
I think like the cool thing too is like unless you really if you're just reading this and again coming from it from a new standpoint, kind of like I was, you're kind of like, huh, and then you like you do your research and you learn more about like how for trans, for a lot of trans men, it's the top surgery, like because you just have this like this set of assumptions, and this book takes away the set of assumptions, if that makes sense, like, or teaches you more about it.
Yeah, again, I would like to recommend For the Love of April French, because in that the trans protagonist is a trans woman. And it also kind of talks about, she's nervous about...
Yeah.
I mean, of course, like, nervous as in, like, I could get murdered.
Yes, exactly.
Here. But it's done in, like, such a sweet and loving way. And also is really hot. Oh, my God, that book is really hot, too. I don't personally... like grasp the kink that is orgasm control. Like I obviously I can understand why it's good for other people, and both of these books are kind of about that.
Yeah.
That like they make it hot in For the Love of April French.
Yeah, I just was like, I can't, like with the cock cage, I'd be like, this thing would be just in my way. I'd be like, you got to take this shit off.
I know. I'd be like, well, what if there's
like how do you
what if I need an MRI?
What if you got to just roll over? Like, can you just sleep? Is it as obtruse? Because again, I have this stupid.
I googled some pictures.
Yeah, but like, okay, so like, is it a thing that you can just sleep in? Like, is it like sleeping in a bra, or is it like sleeping in something more uncomfortable than a bra?
I feel like I don't have testicles, but I feel that it cannot be as comfortable as sleeping in a bra because it is a metal thing.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I would think that you would roll over and it would be heavier than you, but I mean, maybe that's part of the fun. I could not say.
Yes.
So if you have comments on your cock cage experience and you want to talk about them on the show, by all means, we would love to have you talk about where your testicles are right now. Bringing it to you live on Bodice Tipplers. Hi, Mom. Happy birthday.
Amazing.
Is this the point where I can say that we're going on a trip and on my mom's next birthday, and I've already told the booking agent that when her birthday is?
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah, I don't think she's going to think it's so cute when whatever they do is whatever they've done, but I'm going to be like, not happened to me.
So funny. All right, so what pairs nicely? This isn't a dumpster fire. What would you suggest to drink with this? Why you?
Oh, gosh. I not like Manischewitz because that's tacky, but there's like Manischewitz cocktails.
Yeah.
Like a champagne cocktail with like Manischewitz.
Or like a nice mulled wine, I think, a mulled wine.
It's cozy.
It's like a very cozy porny book.
Yes.
Yeah. And our newest question doesn't really apply, though. Would a human being read this in the 21st century?
Because it is the 21st century.
Yes.
And you should absolutely read this book because it's just a fluff.
Yes, I really enjoyed this. So again, if you guys are interested, Reese Morrison, his for Hanukkah, you can find it on Amazon. I'm not sure how much self-pub this author does, but most of their books are on Amazon. So happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and we will see y'all in 2022.
By the way, where can you find us?
Oh, you can find us lots of places. You can find us on Instagram, Bodice Tipplers, Facebook, Bodice Tipplers, Twitter, we're B Tipplers. And again, if you want to throw a couple bucks our way, patreon.com/Bodice Tipplers. If you don't want to throw a couple bucks our way because inflation, as my dad would say, inflation, you guys, another really good and cheap way to support us is to like, rate, and review wherever you listen to podcasts.
Bodice Tipplers is part of the Frolic Network. Find more podcasts you'll love at frolic.media/podcasts.